6, and I'm calling the Wausau School District Board of Education special meeting to order. Agenda item 2, approve consent agenda. Action is requested. Appointments, additional staff, replacement staff, contract increases, separations, resignations, contract decreases, terminations, leaves of absence, and retirements. I'm seeking a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item 3, we're going to be talking about teacher salary approval for 26-27. Ms. Channel and Ms. Kundrum will present on budget updates and potential changes to teaching staff salaries.
I think it might just be me, but she's backing me up back there. So we are presenting to you the ratified agreement with the WEA that is pending board approval for implementation. The settlement that we reached with them that they did ratify last week includes a 0.714% increase on the salary schedule. It comes in within the board parameter that was established of 2.63. We do, just of note, have 11 staff members who have earned their master's degree, so they will get their two-step movement. And we did not have any new teachers that earned their national board teacher certification this year. Sometimes we have 1 or 2 in that category, but this year we did not have any new ones beyond what we already have. So just wondering if you have any questions. Otherwise, I would ask for approval of this settlement so we can get it implemented for payroll.
Well, let me put the motion on the floor, and then we can ask some questions if need be. I'm seeking a motion to accept the certified staff salary changes as presented by administration.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? Any questions?
How does this put us in comparative with other districts in the area and the state? Are we top, middle, bottom? How are we competitively positioned?
I would say overall, we do not have a difficulty in recruiting and hiring new staff. On rare occasion, we do not get a candidate. More of that has to do with probably retirement benefits than anything else. It's hard to compare schedule to schedule any longer because all the schedules look quite different now, and we do market placement within our schedule. So there's not a very clear apples to apples comparison. But from an employment standpoint, every year we probably lose 1 or 2 candidates because we can't meet a salary expectation, but most of them we're able to do that. So.
Other questions? No, I would concur with what you're finding in Region 5. We're finding that it's the same thing. You've got some competition there, but you can't compete on every level. But when it comes to the raises, I think we're pretty competitive.
Awesome.
Okay.
The districts around us did a similar kind of increase for their schedules, so we didn't lose any ground compared to neighboring districts that I'm aware of.
Okay,
So.
that's good to hear. All right. Okay, we can always seek the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item 4, employee handbook. Ms. Gundrum will share additional employee handbook updates for 2026-27 school year for review and approval.
So thank you
Let me
very much.
just finish up.
Yep.
Attachments included for review included the marked up version of the Illustrate and suggested edits and a changes accepted version for review. You want to explain that a little bit too?
Well, I actually thought I edited that language, so somehow that didn't save. What I've given you as an attachment is the exact language that would shift. And so I have the strikeout version and the highlighted version in front of you there. I didn't include an accepted one because quite frankly it's very small changes. If I have a lot of them, then I usually include both. But there are 2 components that we're asking for approval on for handbook. Both are related to our teaching staff. The first one, you may remember last year we implemented what we called longevity bonus. It's found on page 72 of our handbook for teachers, and that provided for a $500 longevity bonus stipend to be paid to staff once they have attained 5, 10, 15, and 20 years of experience. So it's paid essentially every 5 years on a rolling basis. We are asking to extend that to cover years 25, 30, 35, and 40. We have one teacher who is past that point at this point. And then I can ask or take questions on that. The second part, though, while I'm talking, would be we would like to put in a new provision for teachers. Over the last couple of years, that we've heard a lot of requests for PTO, and there are a couple districts around us that have started to look at and or implement PTO. I have various pieces of feedback on how that process is going for those districts. As such, I put forward a proposal that would not switch us to a full PTO process, but it would allow staff that have been with us the longer they've been with us, the more flexibility that they would have in terms of being able to convert sick leave days that they have in their bank to use them as personal leave days. And so what this would do is after they hit 5 years of experience, they could move 1 day of sick leave into personal day to add an additional day beyond the 2 that we give them. Starting in year 10, it would be 2 days that they could move over if need be. 15 years, 3 days, 20 years, 4 days, and 25 years, they could move 5 sick leave days in to use them as personal. What we hear from staff is that they struggle because there are times when they want to take off, but it doesn't necessarily fall into sick leave per se. And if they have to use up their days for like a family wedding, then they don't have flexibility to be able to do something else that they might want to do. And so this would give them an escalating flexibility towards what they're asking for, and then we can monitor that over the first year or 2 that it's in place, is my thought, as information that we could then evaluate as we move forward. So I put those 2 requests forward for handbook changes.
That would be a good follow-up for what is happening in our region and the area when it comes to PTO.
Yes.
And even broader than that. So this is happening in a lot of places right now, and to slide over their sick leave that they're not taking because they're in the classroom, obviously to move that over into one of the personal days really is a benefit. And it's kind of almost like saying thank you for what you've been doing.
Correct. It also allows them to use the time in a category that it most appropriately falls into versus they use it in sick leave because they do need the time, but it maybe doesn't quite fit the definition of sick leave, and they just feel a little bit better about using it in the right category.
Let me put the motion on the floor, and then if you have any more questions, we can ask the questions at that time. I'm seeking a motion for approval of the recommended changes to the 2026-27 employee handbook language.
So moved.
Second.
All right, any follow-up questions? Go ahead.
So I'm looking at the number 40. Has there been an employee that's worked 45 years in the district?
No, and I don't expect that to happen. The person who's been in the district for in excess of 40 is a retiree who came back to help us out in a part-time capacity. So we don't have any teachers. I think the most we have is 36 years of continuous. I'd have to relook at the list again, but there are very few.
Okay,
So.
yeah, I mean, I would just hate for somebody to somehow miraculously work for 45 years, right, and not be able to get that benefit, so I don't know if we could just extend that to say every 5 years that you're in the district, that you're going to get that versus, it seems like the cutoff is at 40, just a thought.
We certainly could. They would have to probably be almost 70 to get that benefit, but there might be a time that we would have somebody that would work that long. We just haven't up until this point.
Yeah, I'm just trying to cover that base. I mean,
Sure.
You hear some really weird stories on social media about, you know, the nurse that's still working at 90 years old, you know, so.
Never seen it happen. But I hear you and I appreciate the
May I
thought.
tap into the days that I left behind?
may you tap into those days? Sorry, Mr. Boucher, that will
Well, I'm
not
that
be allowable.
70-year-old that he's talking about, so I'm figuring I could have tapped into that one, but I guess I'm past that.
You are.
Okay. Any other questions? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. I'm
Thank
seeking
you.
a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Well, with that, in 10 minutes, we're going to quickly move to our next meeting. I'm calling the special meeting workshop to order at this point in time. Mr. Bushman and administration will present on the following topics: school perception survey, strategic plan, potential referendum, first discussions, and that has been passed out to you earlier to take a look at things. So I hand it over to you.
And I believe we're gonna move into the PDC for this one. We have a table set up down there that's more of a workspace orientation. So PDC is it's in the educational wing of the building, so.
Okay, we will move. Thank you very much. We're coming back.
Oh, we were. We can come back to it.
We can adjourn.